Hey, everybody, it's Jeff Fisher of High School Football America, and I'm joined today by a very good friend, John Luce, who created, in my mind, the quintessential high school football player camp that's been held annually at Lafayette College in Easton, Pennsylvania. John is the assistant head coach at Army, coming off that big win against Navy, but he's here today to talk about something that I think is fantastic. And when you get to hear the list of names at his coaching clinic, virtual, of course, it's COVID-19, you are going to be blown away and you're going to want to sign up. But John, thank you for taking the time. I know you're getting ready for Air Force, but we want to promote this because this is going to be good for coaches no matter what level.
Hey, thanks, Jeff. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. I mean, I really respect everything you've been doing for all these years. And, I know this is a great platform for us to talk about Lauren's first and goal and promote this, this first time clinic.
Yeah, and I want to dive into the clinic, but I do want to spend just a few moments at the top because you know how I feel about Lauren. It's been a while since I've been back in the Lehigh Valley, but what a story. It's your daughter. She's gone through, I'm going to just say hell. You've shared a lot with me, but she is a fighter. And this is what this clinic will be benefiting. It's the camp. That's what it all started with. So talk to the people a little bit about Lauren and the foundation.
All right. Well, Lauren is, she was a real little kid when we first started this, but Lauren was diagnosed with NF1, neurofibromatosis, when she was about 8 months old. And it can cause a neurofibroma or tumor anywhere there's a nerve, which is obviously throughout your body. So Lauren has she's fought brain and spinal tumors her whole life and a bunch of other things too. But, Lauren's not a little kid anymore. I mean, she's 23-year-old, woman. And, we love her very much. She's been a huge inspiration to a lot of people. But, what we did, we're going to different functions when she was little and just trying to think of a way we could actually give back as opposed to just go to the function. So we came up with the idea of Lauren's first and goal, one day charity football camp. And the first one was in '04. And, we had 325 kids the first year. And I remember thinking, this could be a really big thing. And then the next year we had about 900. And, a few years later, Phil Simms spoke and really put us on the map probably. And then we had the best speakers in the country. I mean, we've had Urban Meyer twice. And, you name it, we've had him. Jim Tressel, if they're a big time football coach in the East at all, James Franklin, I mean, our guy, Jeff Monken, they've all been there. So it's been really a great deal. And, we probably every year we had between 1,800 and 2,100 kids from 16 states in Canada and even other countries at that point. So, but anyway, when COVID hit, the camp, we had to cancel it, obviously, like every other camp in the country. So we're just thinking how else, how we could complete our mission. And we came up with this, a 4-day virtual football clinic. And, we've given away, it all goes to pediatric brain tumor research and cancer services. Jeff, everyone who's ever volunteered in any way has worked the camp in any way or foundation has volunteered every moment of their time. We've never paid anybody. We've never taken any money for our family or Lauren. It all truly goes to pediatric brain tumor research and cancer services. And we've given away over $2.6 million now. So we're hoping we can, meet the needs of not just the research, but, helping families in need to get back on their feet. So I think this could be a huge help for us.
Well, I was just saying, you used the word, we thought this could be big, talking about the camp itself. I think this could be massive when you start spitting out some names here. And the fact that, and before we started taping this, you said, remember, football's played all over the world and virtual means anybody around the world can see it. So talk a little bit about the how you've put it together. It's a 4-day one coming up in the middle of June and January, excuse me. And folks, If you're watching John talk right now on highschoolfootballamerica.com, all the links are there on how you can register. And if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, just go to highschoolfootballamerica.com and we'll be able to get you hooked up. But talk a little bit about the people that are going to be there, because it is I think it's an understatement to say it's a who's who.
Oh, no question. I'll get out of the way here for a minute for the site, but it's if you go on our Twitter, which is at LFG Football Camp, And if you please follow us, because that's how we get information out, and we'll follow you back. We're trying to get as many coaches as we can at every level to obviously purchase it. But we've had over 1,000 coaches work the camps. We remember we for about 7 years we ran it at Otterbein University, which was a great institution. We ran it for a couple of years down at University of South Florida, and then obviously Lafayette College has been a tremendous host for all those years. So there's just been so many coaches that have worked it. And the other thing is the players. I mean, the players that have been there. I mean, you watching TV, and we got a kid, Elijah Riley, that I'm not sure we would have taken to play for us at Army West Point if he wasn't at Lawrence first and goal. We really liked him in camp. So, we got to take this kid. He plays for the Eagles, and fresh out of college. But Jabril Peppers, Rashawn Gary. I mean, the list goes on and on of guys that were actually at this camp as campers. In fact, Saquon Barkley at the Giants was at the camp. So, I mean, it's ridiculous. Who's who has been at the camp, both as a coach and as a player. So, but anyway, we reached out to some people, and every time I reached out to somebody, whether it was, whether it was Coach Mack at North Carolina, or, obviously I asked Jeff Monken first, and he's going to lead us off as the first speaker. But, Luke Fickle, who spoke at our camp before and is an honorary board member. I said Mac Brown, Greg Schiano, and then the list of coordinators is ridiculous. And you know what? Some of them I know, some I don't, but we literally have coaches from Maine volunteering all the way to Hawaii. All right. And everywhere in between. I mean, without giving you names, there's coaches there from Oregon, Oregon State, Cal, Washington State, Hawaii, I mentioned already, but like Ole Miss, Texas A&M, Wake Forest. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. University of Texas, Michigan, so, and there's strength coaches in there, some of the best in the country. There's obviously coordinators, special team, offense, defense, but I think when you pull up the list, it really is impressive, and I'm sure people get their money's worth.
Yeah, we're gonna list it out for them as well. And one of the other things that's really great about virtual is you can record it, just like I'm recording this Zoom call with you to put it up and promote everything. And you mentioned that this is not just 4 days. There are some packages there that will allow you to hit replay, rewind, and all that to get all the juicy tidbits of what's going to happen. So talk a little bit about how you have it structured so coaches can get the most out of those 4 days.
Well, right now, the way it's structured is the early bird special, which you could get it. You could get it as a gift, and I think some people are absolutely doing that. I mean, I would take that gift if I was somebody, for sure. But it's $49 if you do it before December 31st, and then after that, it'll go up to $79. You can get a up to 5-person package. Okay, up to 5-person package for $150 right now, and then that goes up as well, obviously. But you save a little bit of money by doing that. I think the best package when you look at it, though, is it's $199, and you have access to everything in there for a year. So there's going to be roughly, I think as we calculate it out, it looks like there'll be about 150 speakers. So that's a lot. I mean, it starts January 14th. At 2:00, I believe is the exact time, East Coast time, and goes till the last one will shoot off at 9:00. And then we'll go really all day Friday, all day Saturday. And then you can see the dates above my head here, and then Sunday for a few hours. So that's kind of where we're at with it. I think, we have, when Coach Mac Brown speaks, I mean, he'll be the only one speaking, but for the most part, we can have up to 6 rooms at one time. So, they can access that room. And again, if you buy the package, you have all of that. That's what I'm going to eventually do. I'm going to, every day I'll watch 1 or 2 and try to keep learning, learning the trade.
Yeah. What have you learned? Like you said, everybody you ask generally comes on board, right? As long as it fits into their schedule. Over 1,000 coaches through the years at the camp itself and all that. But what have you learned about the profession? I mean, you know how I feel about the coaching profession. I believe it's the most wonderful in the country, the way you guys share and exchange ideas and all that. But what has it taught you about the profession that when you pick up your phone or write an email to somebody and say, hey, this is for Lauren's first and goal, it's for pediatric brain cancer and all that. I mean, I know you're blown away, but what have you learned about the profession, and they're willing to give back, and give back specifically in the case to help your daughter and those that are afflicted with what she's been dealing with for 23 years?
You know what? There's so many great people out there, because I think about that. We're asked to do so many things that take away from our family. I mean, we're doing a Zoom call right now, and I was on a Zoom call last night for an hour and 15 minutes. There's like 5 of us doing a virtual home visit. I mean, the recruiting at this point is just honestly completely out of control. So it's just that you spend so much time away from your families to do what you love, coach these kids and everything else. And for guys to take time away for the camp and to drive in there on Saturday and work all day Sunday, and then they got to drive themselves home and do all that, I was always amazed by that. And the camp started because I was at Michigan. I know I told you this way back, but for the people listening, I went to Michigan, and I was working their 5-day camp back at the time. I think we were the first 1-day camp in the country. I just remember thinking, like, there's 1,500 kids there, and I thought, I could do this. We could do this in one day, get a bunch of buddies to help. And it was literally at the convention that I mentioned it to a buddy, like, I'm thinking about doing this. And he said, I'm in. And then somebody else said, I'm in. And, that coach was Mark Clayman, a good friend of mine, but he said, I'm in. And that's what happened. It just kept going. And it went from 56 buddies to about 350 college coaches every year that would volunteer. So I knew it would be easy to get coaches to jump on board on this. And, just the other day, I'm in the weight room, and you just exercising early in the morning. And I thought, I'm going to text Chris Ash, the defensive coordinator at Texas. I text him and I asked him, would you be interested? He goes, I'm in. I mean, that's what happens. Chris Ash pretty busy, so he goes, I'm in. And it went on like that over and over and over, and I'm going to ask some other people that, are not on there right now, that I'm sure they'll do it. And I'm just waiting because they're playing this weekend, and I don't want to bug somebody that's getting ready, for a big game. But
like, I'm bugging you now before
no, I'm glad to do it. Like I said,
we're trying to get.
I got enough time.
Yeah, so it's January 14th through the 17th. Again, on highschoolfootballamerica.com, you will see everything. And as far as links, how to register, and it is perfect. And you mentioned about how recruiting's changed and all that, and because we have so many high school football coaches that do read highschoolfootballamerica.com and listen to our podcast and see these interviews, I'd love for you to maybe share a couple of things that you, as a member of the staff at Army, maybe you've discovered this year during the virtual part of game planning and all that. Is there a nugget or two where you're going to say, hey, this worked for us, guys, this failed miserably? You got a couple of nuggets there for the coaches out there?
You know what? I mean, like you, I mean, when I went to college, I never saw a computer, not one time. So
you're calling me old, man.
Yeah, I know. This has been, a learning experience, but we're all getting better and better at it. I think you just got to be organized and have your video ready, and just make sure you know what you're doing as far as sharing the video with them. But you know what, you can get a lot done. I mean, there's lots of times this year that we even though they were all there, we were meeting virtual. We're trying to split them up as much as we can to dodge the COVID everywhere. So, and because I mean, you obviously don't want anybody to get it, but you also can't get caught up in the tracing and everything else. So it's, but it's been a good learning experience, and we're all going to come out better because of it. I know this, the thing that I have learned that it's really been effective that I don't think I did before. We'd practice, I'd run up and watch practice, and I would do a Zoom meeting like we're doing right now, but I would tape the meeting and then email it to my guys. So, you can do stuff like that to really help yourself, I think. And then they can ask questions, and, it really is a valuable tool. Again, I'm sure most of us never had any idea what Zoom was, so, when this
Yeah,
first all
there
started.
are Zooms. What about your players? And certainly at West Point, you've got a cut above, right, when it comes to the academics and all that. But tips for the coaches out there on the best way to communicate on Zoom? Is it kind of keep it simple, the KISS method, or what have you found again that works when it comes to the players specifically, and making sure that when you aren't on the field for whatever reason, if it's safety related and that they're still getting their stuff done and getting prepared for the next game?
I think a big part is, which is it's harder on the Zoom than it was in the classroom. And when we've gone back into the classroom, I man, I cherish that time, because that's my favorite part of the day, that and practice. You know what I mean? Like going to the classroom and joking with them and talking, because you love those kids. They're great people here. So, well, I guess you just have to constantly ask them questions and keep them engaged, you know, because, if you don't, I mean, these kids are doing this with classroom too. And I know they are. Some of them, they just turn it on and they're just doing whatever, so you got to keep asking them questions, keep them engaged. And it takes a minute for them to reply, because they got to hit, the unmute, so I think just keep them engaged by asking them questions and keep changing it up and doing what you do. You just like, Jeff Monken says all the time, and he's right. You can't just turn on the video when you walk in the room and just keep showing video. You need to get to use the whiteboard and make sure they can see you and you can see them and you're engaging with them. So that's what I think you got to do. And try as hard as you can not to make it all Zoom. I mean, this game's still about walkthroughs and practice.
Yeah, it's not an EA Sports video game, that's for sure.
No, exactly right. You can't.
John,
No.
before I let you go here, we're going to have you put your pitch hat on here a little bit, and before we kind of have you to do the final pitch on who, what, when, and where, just talk about maybe some of the topics with some of these coaches that you're going to go over. I know it's probably still a work in progress. We're still a month out and all that, but have you got some areas where you say, yeah, we definitely have to touch on this in the coaches clinic?
You know what? With that many coaches, I think we can touch on everything. I really do. I mean, it's a who's who at every position. It really is. I mean, you look at it, and the D line coach at Oklahoma's there. The O line coach at Alabama's there. I mean, you look at the names that are there. Some of the best special teams coaches in the country are there. So I think we're going to hit it all. When our strength coach walked down the office, Connor Hughes, which I think he's great, and Brian Hask had left a year ago to work for Coach Mac Brown in North Carolina. I thought he was great. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to ask the strength coaches, and I'm going to get some of those guys. So I think we're going to be able to cover all parts of it. Coach Simpson, the D-line coach at the Atlanta Falcons. Okay. So where you're at, right? He is a legendary high school football coach before he went to University of Miami. And then he went to, yeah, right. Buford High School. So, so anyway, he's going to talk about high school program. So I think there'll be something there for everyone. I really do, because I think I'm sure there'll be a lot of technique, the one thing about a clinic like this is you never know who's watching. So I think there's going to be a lot of clinics and general stuff a little bit. It's not like you can walk in a room and go, well, I'm at Lafayette and Lehigh's there. So but I think we'll have something for everybody. Again, for $49 right now for an individual, or $199 for a year's access, which to me, that's the way to go. But I don't know how you could be more effective with how you would spend, $200 or whatever. I think for your staff, this would be the best thing going. I really do. You don't have to travel, I thought about this years ago, Jeff, as far as, and the area there, like I wanted to have it at the casino in Bethlehem, I really did. I wanted to have one. And, yeah. Invite people in and have it, because guys would come in and have a good time and go to the clinics. And I thought it would be a heck of a deal, but there was always a clinic going. I said, yeah, I'm going to stick to the camp business. But anyway, nobody has to travel to do this, so that's why I think the lineup will be ridiculous.
Yeah, so folks, if you're watching this right now and John's selling it real well, and actually doesn't really have to sell it when you look at the list. Just go to highschoolfootballamerica.com, or if you're watching it on the page right now, you'll see all of the names. We're going to put them there for you. We're going to put the links on how to sign up, and if you like you said, it's a pretty good Christmas gift. You haven't gotten anything for your boyfriend, your husband. Time to pony up there, and I think it'd make a great bow wrapped Christmas gift. John, one last time, the dates, the amount, just go through that one more time, and then I'll let
Yeah,
you
it's January 14th. It'll start at 2 o'clock. All right, which is a Thursday, and that's right up backed up to the convention. We did that for a reason. We thought it'd be easy that way. I think it's a good date. And then it'll go all day Friday. The first one, I believe, is at 10 o'clock, and it will end at 10 o'clock at night. It will go all day Saturday, same thing, 10 to 10 East Coast time. And then a few hours in the morning to the early afternoon on Sunday. It is, if you register and pay for it before December 31st, it's an early bird special. It's $49. It'll go up to $79 for a single ticket after that. And, it's $150 right now. And I think, I don't have it right in front of me, but it'll go up a little bit, obviously, again, but it's $150 for a staff of 5. And then again, I think the best deal when I was looking at the other day was the $199 for a full year's, you have a full year's access to the whole thing. So I do. I think it'll be a really good deal. Again, I'll give you the website when we get done here so you can actually put it down there. But LFG football camp is our Twitter, which is the quickest way probably to get there. And it's all, like I said, Coach Tube's doing a great job to put all this together. So we're excited about that partnership.
Yeah, we'll have all the links up there for you. And one other thing we should always mention is that Lauren's First and Goal Foundation is a 501c3. So I would assume that a ticket to this is also tax deductible. Not that I'm an accountant. Am I right about that?
I'm not exactly sure because I
No,
know
we'll
any
skip over that one.
donation. I know any donation after the initial ticket for surely would be, and there is a way to donate there. So,
Okay.
and if people are listening, we're always looking for sponsorship and those kind of things too. Because we're not paying anybody, so it all truly goes to our mission.